Welcome back. You're watching live from Paris on France 24. It's time for Media Watch with James Creedon, who, as it usually does, has already started talking.
Yes,
Hello, James.
I'm telling you all about what we're going to talk about.
You've got to tell everyone now. Straight to Leveson. I can't think of anything that's more Media Watch. This is an inquiry into media ethics, or the lack of them perhaps, in the United Kingdom.
That's right. It's the top story on the New York Times website this evening to give you a sense of the international dimension. This isn't just British navel gazing. It's a big story. And to give you an extent of how anticipated this report into press ethics was, take a look. Well, no, that's another angle. Statutory regulation of press would be manna from heaven for dictators like Robert Mugabe. Now, this was in the build-up to today's report being issued by Leveson, and a lot of people were saying, look, if Britain is to regulate the press, which is the big question here, will Britain go towards press regulation? Then all of the dictators in Africa would be like, well, if Britain's doing it, we can do it.
Absolutely.
So Fleet Street...
It's a slippery slope, isn't it?
That's it. Fleet Street has always been a sort of a place that other countries will look towards. It has set many standards in terms of press quality around the world, and this is a slippery slope, which is exactly what a lot of campaigners have been warning about, and that is the excuse that Mr. David Cameron is using to say maybe we should not go ahead with this.
Because let's not forget, he launched the inquiry after it came to light that journalists at the News of the World, a now defunct newspaper, had been tapping people's phones, and not just celebrities either, but also the parents of a murder victim, and it goes on and on and on.
And then it turned out that he became heavily implicated in the scandal, because it turns out he was quite chummy with this lady here. Let's get a close-up of that photo. Rebecca Brooks. She was the editor-in-chief of The Sun, of the News of the World, at the time of the phone hacking scandal, and it emerged in that whole scandal that they had used to exchange text messages with each other, things like, do you remember the whole lol text thing?
Dave didn't quite get it, did he?
No. So look, what this whole scandal last year revealed was a very murky proximity between the press and politicians, and very dirty practices in newspapers that the politicians kind of probably knew about and tolerated. But will they now go towards regulation? That's the question. Cameron says no.
As I understand it, it only relates to the press, doesn't it? It doesn't relate to broadcast, and it doesn't relate to social media.
That's right. So a lot of people have been criticising that as well. The extent, the fact that
what's been going on at the BBC, for example, what's been going on at Newsnight, what's been going on Twitter. I mean, it doesn't touch that at all, does it?
That's right. So it's kind of restricting itself to the print press, which in itself is a bit dated, really, as a means of trying to get on board with all this. So I think, the major question here is whether or not, it'll happen. I think this story illustrates the worries of people who say, well, you do need some regulation for a tabloid press, famously out of control on occasion in the UK.
This is X Factor bigwig Louis Walsh, isn't
That's
it?
right.
Irishman.
That's right. Let's get a close-up on that photo. That's Louis Walsh. Now, he's a music manager, X Factor. He's from Dublin.
Is he? Right.
And I'm from Cork, so there you go. I dissociate myself from Louis Walsh.
Cork is a special area of its own.
It's much better. Now, Louis Walsh basically was accused of sexually assaulting
a chap in a toilet.
That's right.
In a nightclub.
Now, the Sun has had to pay out £400,000 because that allegation proved to be false. Now, what his lawyers, one of them is pictured here.
And the claimant is now behind bars, I believe.
That's right. So he got a 6-month prison sentence. Now, what his lawyers have pointed out is if the Sun had only given them a matter of hours to gather evidence that Louis had not committed this crime, they could have provided that evidence, and this whole drama would never have unfolded. So his lawyers used this case, which came to conclusion yesterday, to point out that the Leveson inquiry does need to come or suggest ways of muzzling, or I suppose providing for situations like this where the press wouldn't go to press with the story straight away.
It throws up a lot of questions, doesn't
That's
it?
Right.
Do you want to quickly tell us what Stephen Fry said on Twitter?
Stephen Fry, take a look at this. This is
one of the first tweeters.
I do love this tweet, even though it's a little bit rude. It would seem David Cameron's address is no longer number 10 Downing Street. It's flat number 2, Rupert Murdoch's bum. That was the top tweet on the Leveson story today. I suppose implicating or demonstrating what a tough tightrope this is for David Cameron to walk.
Rupert Murdoch, of course, used to own the News of the World.
That's right. He used to own the News of the World, and Cameron was implicated in all that. With proximity, all that.
All right, well, this leads us quite neatly onto your next story. Here in France, judges have been tweeting. Now, you don't expect the judges to do it, do you?
Can you believe this, right? 2 judges were tweeting to each other
Well, they're deciding someone's
while
fate.
there was a hearing going on. Do you want me to tell you what they were actually tweeting?
Gonna send this guy to jail. Hashtag.
It was almost that bad, Laura. I'm serious. Look,
That's terrible.
this is when he was found out by another lawyer on Twitter. That's a screen grab, so it's not
Don't
very
like
clear.
the look of this one.
No, look. So
What
they
did
were
they say?
they were anonymous, right? You weren't using their actual names, but one was saying, "Do we have the right to smack the witness?"
Oh.
And another guy said, "Yeah." Oh no! Look, I just made my witness cry. But it's an issue. It's a jurisprudence issue. And so it was this sort of like slightly nerdy tweeting, but also completely crossing a red line, you would say. Now, can we quickly mention Jacques Chirac's birthday?
That's outrageous. Oh, yes,
Totally
sorry. Jacques Chirac.
It's Jacques Chirac. He's
80.
80 today.
Happy birthday,
He has
Jacques.
the same birthday as my grandmother,
The man that launched this channel.
That's right. He was in here shaking hands with people
He was.
and being all. And take a look at this old cover of Jacques Chirac to show you how often he's been on the front of Paris Match. You have people tweeting photos of him going way back when.
He's now a convicted criminal.
He is a convicted criminal, and that's what this tweet says. French gangster and gentleman, happy birthday to him. We'll finish with that photo.
Shouldn't say that on his
That's
birthday.
him
Happy birthday, Jacques.
jumping
Bon
the metro.
anniversaire. All right. Wonderful. Thank you very much. James Creedon with Media Watch.
Thanks,
Good to
Laura.
see you as always. Time for a short break. When we come back, we'll be taking you to New York and the United Nations General Assembly, where they're about to hear from the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, who is expected to win a vote tonight on getting upgraded status for the Palestinians. More on that next.